Hi, today I'm going to show you the difference between the dashed lines that we supply in most of our SVG files and the solid lines. So a lot of people have the Cricut Maker and maybe the score wheel. So with that, the scoring wheel actually scores a little bit deeper, so you might want to use the solid versions of our file. A lot of people are used to this, so I'm going to upload a dash version. So we're going to just use our bunny butt box. So when you have the file, so I'm going to go back here. When you get the file and you unzip it, in there is the SVG files folder. And we explained how to upload it, but I'm going to show that from the beginning here. And in this default folder are the ones with the dashed lines. So if you're doing some very curved items or more complex 3D items, I normally would say, I'm going to put the preview on, utilize this. But if there's straight lines like this box, if you have a score tool or score wheel, I still don't believe they score deep enough for me, but there's an option to use the solid lines. So what's in this solid score line folder is just the files that have score lines. So you'll notice there's just one file and the other one had two files. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to import this one. And we'll just save the default. So I'm going to hit upload again and browse to the other files. And I'm going to go back to where there were two files. So here's the one with the dash line, as you can see right here. And to the right, you see the feet and tail. Now, as far as this goes, the reason why it's not in the solid score line is because there's no score lines. So we're going to upload that one. And then we'll just save it. And I'll also do the dashed as well, so I can show you the difference of what one with dashed versus cut. So if you use a score tool at all, I would always, if you intend to use that all the time, then always use the solid score lines. Otherwise, every single dashed line will score with the score tool. The dashed version, for those that prefer scored lines, would be for more complex 3D items or projects, and for cutting. So that's traditionally before we had score tools. You only had the option of cutting the score line. So we're going to bring that in. So what I'm going to do is show you the difference between, on a Cricut, what it looks like with a cut line versus a scored line. And I'm going to use the score wheel for the Cricut Maker when I do this. So let's bring these in. We're going to zoom out a little bit here so we can see them. And we want to change the score lines to, for this one we'll leave it to cut. So if you leave it to cut, all you have to do is take that group and attach the score lines, and it'll cut just like that. The dash lines will cut. If you want to score, use the solid line version, because it'll be cleaner and it'll just won't like pick up and score every individual dash. So we're going to look at the cut line here, and you can see that that's the line. If you look closely, you can see that's the score line. And we want to go to the left here and change the line type to score. So now, for that particular one, they look like dash lines now. So if I go off of them, it looks like that, but you can see they're light gray. So now we need to make sure we attach them. Otherwise, the score lines won't score in the proper place. And then we can go to make it. And we're just going to skip over to the actual files first. So right now, you see that says cut. So those are the dash lines, and this will be score and cut. So that's the one that we have solid score lines. So let's do the one that cuts first. So we'll continue. Had to turn on Bluetooth. Turned it off. Select my maker. And then we'll set the material type, which I'm using a medium cardstock. And then it's going to not ask me, I already have the blade in, so I'm just going to continue. The pressure default, and then I'm going to go ahead and insert the paper. And down here it gives me the option for fast mode, so I'm going to use that. And then I'll press the go button. So while it cuts, we'll just wait for that to cut, and then we'll go on to and do the next one. And because we set this up to cut the dashes, the blade just goes up and down for every dash. Now I'll go ahead and insert the second mat for the scoring for the solid score lines. Now because I'm using the maker, I'm using the scoring wheel, but if you had a score tool with the air or any of the explore airs or explore, you could also use that to score. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, then we'll have it cut out. So here it is scoring with the scoring wheel. And once it scores, it prompts for a change to the blade, and then it'll cut the rest of it. And then you'll see here the difference. So this is what the dashed cut line looks like, and you can see it's very visible. And then here are the fold lines with the score wheel, and you would have to fold them well, either with your hands or with a bone folder. But there is a big difference. It makes it way cleaner with your cards and boxes. And there's a comparison just to give you a look. So I do encourage you to use the solid lines if you have a score tool or score wheel. Thank you for watching.